Hello and welcome to another video. In this quick video, we're going to take a look at a free software called QGIS. And as the title shows here, it is a free and open source geographic information system. So basically what that means, you're mostly working in maps here and using different information that you can find across different websites, usually provided by a specific state or even county or even town. You can use different input information to create some interesting maps that show different data or tell different narratives. So in the realm of architecture, and certainly in school, where this could come into play and be useful is you might be tasked with site analysis, and you can use these mapping tools to sort of pinpoint the information that you want to present or the information that is important to you, and you can then export that information that you can play around with in this program to something like Adobe Illustrator and then into InDesign, so you can really get creative with the way that you present these maps and the information. So first, what I'm going to show you, just for example, and I'm not going to go into that much depth with how to actually use the software. You can kind of figure out some things intuitively on your own, but what I do want to point you towards is where you can gather this information and what type of information is needed to put into the mapping program. So what I did in this example, if we look at this map here, is I have this whole map of the state of Massachusetts. So this is in a sort of vector format. You'll see as I zoom in, I have other information in here. This is kind of my area of focus near the Quabbin Reservoir. But we'll get to this. But how did I get all this information? Where did I get it from? If you look here in the bottom left-hand corner, this is where all those different layers of information are sort of stored, and I get to choose what goes on top of what. And what is presented on top of other information, what are the overlays. So that information was gathered from this Bureau of Geographic Information for the state of Massachusetts. So if we scroll down on this website, you'll see download free data, for example. So any state will have a website like this where you can get this type of GIS data. So then if we scroll down, there's different categories of data. There's anything from environmental data, like where are wetlands, or where's the coastline, and where are different species of fish located that might be endangered. Like that information is found here on the website. Anything from bicycle trails to topo lines to pretty much anything. There's even rasterized data or even images that you can also download, and that map data will be put in when you drag and drop it. So for example, you could just choose any of these. Let's go to, just do aquifers for an example. So when you click on one of these, you'll be presented with something like this, and what you're looking for is this right here, the shape files. So basically you would download this, you'll get a zipped folder which you can assign to whatever download folder you want, and then if you extract the files from that folder into its own folder that is no longer in a compressed zip format, you will want to look for something along the lines of an AutoCAD shape file. Those AutoCAD shape files, or shape files in general, are what you can drag and drop down here into this layers area. Once you have that, you can then start to play around with collecting more information and putting it in here. So I'm just gonna disable some of these things, and then I'll zoom in and kind of show you. So let's say we want the topo lines back for this general area. We also have water represented here. Now, what you can see is that there are these different hatches. All of that stuff you can mess around with. So if I locate my hatch, there's one of the hatches that's representing the Quabbin Reservoir there. If I go here, right-click on it and go to Properties, I can then change the symbology as well as many other things. But like I said, I'm not going to go into detail with that. But just for now, you can really just mess around with it and change these different things, and now you can see that it has a different hatch. Now, when you go to create a layout and then export it to Illustrator, you can have it so that each of these layers is exported as a layer, and then you can, in Illustrator, you can edit those things as long as you export as an SVG. So let's just take a quick look before this video ends at some of the other things that you can assign or show. So here's the wetlands, for example. That was an important piece of data that I wanted to have. This is where the aquifers are, so that's what data would have been downloaded when in that aquifer example. We even can find information such as the tax parcels. This information I had to do a little bit of digging for, but I was able to find that. Let's see what else we got. We can have the roads, or these are the rivers. So really any information that you need to find, most of it should be present on the state's website. So I would encourage you to look there. So then once you've done all this, the next step, I guess, would be to export that and get it over to Illustrator so that you can have your creative freedom to edit these things and create a certain map with your narrative. So to do that, we just need to make a layout. We can give that a title. And then what you'll see here is a layout space. And just for a quick example of how to kind of get going, we want to add map. Click on that and then just do the extent of the page. And there you go. Now you have your map. And then what you can do from there is go to export as SVG. And then you can export as an SVG, which can then be opened in Adobe Illustrator. So I think that's all for the video. I just wanted to kind of put it out there that this very powerful free program or software exists, and there's definitely a lot that you can do with it. There's a lot more I could have went over, but due to the restriction of time, I just wanted to keep it short and let you do some exploration for yourself. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video.